Hello everyone, Gr4 Racing here, and for the first time ever I'm actually talking in a video of mine. This is the regular daily race with Gr4 cars. I started the week driving the Atenza before. I thought that was the best car to drive around here, but eventually, as you may see now, this is my very first lap on this track with the Genesis G70 with 4, and I immediately got the better lap times. I mean, my first lap with the Atenza was 37.5. This one was actually until Sunday my first lap around the ring. Someone around here, I really understood that I was in something good. As we're approaching the last two corners of the circuit, difficult to get them right because the track limits are very, very easy to violate. And we're ending with 137, 152. And as I'm starting the new lap, this happens, so I look at first race here with the Genesis starting pole. That was actually a race where I fought myself, getting a little slow into turn 1. Never really got worried about the drivers in the back, apart from that point of the race where I was afraid of any kind of dipole that would cost me not only the race but from what I understood during this week, if you violate track limits by getting off the track because another car hit you would take a penalty. If you were violating those limits from a stupid mistake of yours, it would be possible of avoiding it. Anyway, not really pressure on lap 1. You can see here the lap is up to 1.3, ending the lap without any worries. But lap 2 is where I tried to ruin this race by really putting myself into trouble. Fine exit here in turn 1, but as we're approaching turn 3 up the hill, you will see the first act of stupidness. Oh, yeah, we received a penalty, and as soon as I slowed down to exceed it, here's what happened next. Go to end up the lap, and here is another track limit violation, so we got another 0.5 penalty. can see here that I wasn't too far behind the fastest lap of the race, even though I had a penalty. It was 11 thousandths per second only, and lap at the end of lap 3, you will see that I'm still going pretty fast. Doing purple sectors all the time. The gap is bigger now. That's what made me actually sad of the points I got. And here you will be able to see that I'm doing another purple sector. It's time to exceed our time penalty here by slowing down, not be close on the drivers behind, not even at 10. And this time I actually finished the lap without any trouble, and you can see that again we're going faster. Imagine without the penalty. Now here is right after my stop. I went for a soft medium strategy. I stuck behind this driver who was yet to stop. Now this guy is a fine example of what a good, respectful driver must be like. He knows I have done my stop. He knows he's not racing me. He knows he has to stop sometime around the next laps. I'm not really sure what strategy he is. I assume he was on a medium sort of strategy. And right on the end of the lap, I stuck behind him. I chose to go from the outside because he was on the inside. But here you can see he really let me through. He didn't resist at all, and that's what I admired about him, and that's pretty much where everyone on the front went for their own stop, even at the driver from the Czech Republic. And I got back to the little race, and here is the end of race 1 with a fine margin. P1 with a gap of 12.9 seconds. Here we go. We still can see on the radar driver behind got close there. I don't know what happened to him. It was a weird moment, and I was highlight of the race actually, because that gave me a great advantage over the drivers behind. You can already see that I'm 1.4 seconds ahead of P2 and we are on P3. French guy really lost it there, and that was already up to 2 seconds. It is the point of the race where I'm actually thinking that we had such a fine start, such a lucky start, because the guy behind me died and immediately caused chaos behind. Then, if I'm careful, that's a race win. See that the gap remains up to 2.4 at the moment. There's nothing to worry about, just for myself once again. And that was it at actually never anything happened during this race, not even when I boxed. It didn't involve in any fight, and we came home to finish another race on the top of the podium in style. This time the gap wasn't that big. It was only 7.1. Okay, it's a good gap for a 12 lap daily race, but yeah, it was a race where nothing really happened. And now we're going into the final race of this video, again starting from pole, but this time the field was harder, was stronger, and we got into a huge fight, I have to admit it. So this is a race you have to watch fully. 12 laps of racing here in Red Bull Ring. We are approaching the lights that are going to become green in 3, 2, 1. We go racing at the Red Bull Ring for the third time. This time nothing happened on the back. All drivers are good and clean, and they are stuck behind me. A stupid mistake on turn 1, almost losing it, and I allowed with that mistake Gr4 from Ukraine to stuck on the back and try to go to the outside, immediately go to the inside line to go defensive here, as late as possible on the brakes. Try to not let him try the switcheroo after turn 3, and now I'm always ready to go on the inside from turn 3 for defense. I'm really kind of hope that I'm not gonna do any silly mistake here on these too tricky left corners. No mistake here, the gap is up to 1.5, and now with the slipstream we will be getting closer and closer to the lap. I know I'm not safe here, I have to go perfect and clean with these laps. Immediately going from the inside to see if he can close enough, then back to the racing line. This time I'm going clean in this corner, and I'm just waiting actually to see if he's close enough to try something. I can realize here that he's not, so choosing the right racing line for turn 3. And now of course this isn't over. He's still stuck back. He's still close enough to keep me worried. And now he was super close, almost hitting me. And we're going on the most tricky for me section of the track. These two left-handers, they were really in trouble for me every time I was trying to have a fun lap. Here he's closer than the last lap. I go in defensive at first, but I realize that it's not possible to overtake there, so I get back on the racing line. This time better on the exit of the last corner, and the gap is slightly bigger than the last lap. Getting into lap 3, holding the fast lap of the race so far at 38.3. And Gr4 is once again stuck on my back, And this time that I will actually have to go defensive again. As he comes closer and closer and closer, and now tries to move from the outside. Now for the switcher, he touched me and lost a little bit of momentum there, so I was able to stay on the front. You can clearly see that it cost him a lot, and I know that from 3 tenths behind you cannot try him up here. Only I did it. I just don't remember the race. Now once again the tricky section. That's where my heart was going like crazy during the race, because I knew that for me this section was pretty easy to do whenever future destroy my race. A couple of corners with my mind on the back, quite slow in what I'm doing. Almost exceeded 5 limits there, and that's lap 4 now. I have to say that I wasn't sure if I had a good exit there, so I became a little bit nervous until I saw that on the radar there was no sign of the Ukrainian driver behind, so I knew that I was on a good momentum. Exiting lap 3 just fine. The gap is up at 6 tenths now. Purple sector 1. I know that at this point it was my lap. Now he came a bit closer. The corner was where they were coming a little bit closer. And you see now a small mistake there. That second corner did it just fine. And the gap is again good enough to avoid getting overtaken at turns 1 and 3. I just have to keep it like that. I'm on soft tires, so I'm immediately starting thinking about boxing. I can see the Ukrainian driver making his stop now to undercut me almost. Actually, I violated the track limits there, and I got the 0.5 lap time penalty. So I'm becoming so nervous at the time, because I knew that I really had to go super clean to avoid getting undercutting from Logan White. And I know I have to receive the penalty and box this lap, because if I were to stay out for 1 more lap, the tires would be gone and I would have no grip and of course no momentum to keep the gap stable. I would only lose time. It's time to receive the penalty. And now we have to get on the pit lane. Let's see if we're gonna lose the position from the Ukrainian driver. Choosing the medium compound. Genesis guys are waiting for their driver to come in, make a stop. is the most nervous part of any race with a pit stop on Gran Turismo. The time waiting to see your car going in the box. Perfect pit stop from the boys, 4.9 seconds, and I'm coming out ahead of Logan White on 3.1 seconds, immediately realizing that something wrong happened. Now down to 1.8 of course, but I have get a 1 second advantage even though I had the penalty. I don't know what happened to him. I didn't the replay. I was wrong side, but now I'm behind the German driver P10, dropped to 11. That only shows how much time we were losing by fighting these first 5 laps. As I lost more positions, and actually lost it to stop race 1 and 2. But there wasn't really any part of this race where I got involved in any kind of fight. From what I remember, I only actually that's wrong. There will be a fight pretty soon. The German guy beats. So we immediately get rid of him, and we have a clean way to drive ahead of us. Another driver on his stop as well, getting 2 positions in this lap only. By that, up P9, provisional to 1, Logan White behind 1.4. It's not actually that safe, but I know it's safer than it was before. I have to run clean here, and you can see the Spanish driver ahead, kind of losing time. So at this point I was thinking, please go for the stop, box this lap. I don't want to lose any time now. This is the last thing I really want to do, and if I had to fight him on track, I was kind of hoping to be like the driver in Czech Republic in race 1. You can really see now that I am the fastest driver already. 1.8 from the 3 seconds that it was at the start of the lap, and he's not boxing this lap, so I'll have to fight him, that's for sure. He's 1.4 ahead, so that's the start of lap 8 out of 12, P5 now, for the drivers boxing. 1.3, 1.2. The gap is getting closer and closer, and I know that the next corner might get on the right distance to attack. You can see behind the gap getting bigger, so that's pretty good for me. Now I am in the attacking spot up against the Spanish driver ahead, and I'll try to go for a late braking move, getting touched because he didn't expect me to go for the move there, so he immediately went on his normal line. That was, of course, nothing intended. I didn't want to touch him there. I just realized that if I didn't go on purpose for the late braking, I realized that he braked early, so do not hit him, take any huge penalty and ruin some of the race. I went for the move is done, no complaints happened obviously. So what happened before, the Danish driver pinned some. He stopped now, so we're gaining another position. That's P3 and start flap 9. And that's actually the point that I know that if the Ukrainian driver won't overtake Alonso or Google behind, it's gonna be game over for him. A very welcoming third victory in a row for me. And here is when I have the chance to pull away completely from the view of my own reaction driver during this race, with 4 laps remaining at the time. Consistency is there, thankfully. I still got fast up race now, but it's not something to be worried. In races like this, actually me racing, because I was worrying until at the final lap fits on the race rewards for getting the fastest lap. I really wanted to get the fastest lap. P1, P2 on their own pit stop, and at the end of lap 9, starting P10, we are back. P1 finally clean way for 11 wide behind, 4.3 the gap now, 3 laps remaining. He has to run super clean and get me 2 seconds a lap to overtake me, unless I start doing mistakes. That's impossible because my gap, okay, sorry about my English, because my pace was actually super consistent, and you can see I was dropping all the time 38s after my stop, and most of my laps actually were 38s apart from lap 3. I had to go defensive against Ukrainian driver, so I knew that it was impossible, so I really had to focus and avoid any kind of mistake, ending up this lap on another 38, so I know that with 2 laps remaining, I'm having the clear advantage. The gap is the same, 4.7 now. It's getting slightly bigger lap after lap, so that's the moment of frustration for me. Being getting the fastest lap, 1/10 only. I knew it was impossible for me to have a chance of getting the fastest lap with the middle compound. I knew it was on the soft compound, but I really wanted to try it. I also knew that I wasn't on the huge gaps I had from the last couple of races, so it was pretty risky trying to outperform myself at the time, but I really wanted to try it. This lap was clearly slower than this lap, which was 33, this lap is 32, pace is around 35 to 7 at the time. Bearings lap it's clear that there is no pace for challenging the fastest lap. So we're getting on the last lap of the race, the last lap of the week, the last lap of the week. With a super clear advantage of 4.4 seconds. This time I'm going slightly faster for myself, but I'm more worried of finishing the race here than actually attempt something wrong for my race. I knew I had a clean race so far, apart from the penalty I got. That it was the hardest race for me this week, having fight to keep that B1. So getting into that final sector as safe as possible. Also would safe approach in the last couple of corners here to not exceed track limits. Last corner, last lap, ending the race in another B1. And yes, that's how you complete a hat trick of wins in track and daily races at Gran Turismo 7. Thank you for watching. See you next time.